We are talking about, ta-da.
We're talking about effective communication for women. It's about women. It's been about women
happy
since
Women's
this month.
Day,
Oh yeah, happy Women's
Yesterday
Day.
we had
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Yes,
for some,
all of them.
for some faction, you have several factions,
No, actually, if you don't have a biological child, it doesn't deny you of being a mother to somebody.
Tell them.
You can mother somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
You can grow. It's about nurturing, mentoring, and leading the person to be the best he or she can be.
No, it just means that we have several factions celebrating Mother's Day on different days of the year.
Oh, yes.
And then there was National Women's Day.
National Women's Day, which is
In fact, March, I don't know, but I think it's one of my favorite months. It's not my birthday month, though, but, it makes, I don't know about other women, but it makes me feel special being
It's
a
the
woman.
year of women.
Oh, yes. And then all throughout this month, everything is geared towards celebrating the girl child and encouraging her to be the best that she can be. And for us, we believe that communication is key for every girl child. Because, for instance, if you grew up in an environment or a family where as a girl you're told that where you're to be seen and not heard, you find out that it affects all your communication skills.
I have to come at you with something. Something I shared on the show before. I'm having an argument with somebody. Calm down, they tell me. Are you a woman though? You marry somebody. Oh, that set me off worse.
Well, society has a way of putting us in a
society.
stereotype. Yes, and then boxing you in a corner. It's not about talking aimlessly, but it's all about being assertive, knowing what you want, and knowing how to go about it, and making sure you achieve positive results. But again, when society groomed the girl child, it's more like, you're supposed to keep quiet. In fact, from Kim Kiyosaki's book, The Rich Woman, a book on women and investing, she listed some things that discourage women from investing and making money, just like their male counterparts. And one of the things she listed was the fact that women tend to keep quiet in order to keep peace. So you see that sometimes as a woman you have a dream, you have abilities, you have the potential to be more than you are currently.
Or do better than the man that's sitting right next to you.
Well, sometimes I say, doing better than the other person, for me, is not even the issue because there's no competition here. It's all about complementing one another and, achieving results. But again, when you're trying to be your best and you have those stereotypes, those societal expectations in your head, it's difficult for you to get ahead as a woman.
True.
So this month is fantastic in letting women know that, yes, the theme for this International Women's Month is press for progress. But I'm of the opinion that you cannot press for progress without first starting with yourself. You have to start with yourself. What are those abilities you think you have? What are those communication challenges you feel you face as a woman? And how do you begin to step out of your comfort zone and begin to realize your dreams and be the best that you can be?
Well, I was going to talk about the fact that a lot of attention is being put on women because if one is sane society, the men need to be carried along. In as much as we know that women are the more feeble or more. When I get the word, because if we only focus on women and their mode of communication, how we should communicate, we're communicating with the other sex as well, or the other gender as well. So we need to carry them along if we're talking about communicating, because we are not in a world where we only have females, we also have males. Like you said in some instances, people say women should be seen and not heard. How is it that we can actually let our voices be heard in the fact that sometimes women tend to say no and their no is interpreted as yes in many cases? How is it that we can do that correctly without having a second meaning to what we mean?
Say what you mean and mean what you say. And in saying what you mean, you have to be explicit. You have to be clear enough. Avoid ambiguous statements. Be direct, because sometimes I said it on this show before that men tend to be precise. there's an issue on ground, men want to direct the point and dissect it and get going. But you see, for the fact that we as women are wired differently, that's why we communicate differently too. Now, in getting the other sex to understand that we are different, and the only thing that can work for us is to work together by noting my difference or my weakness and merging it with your strength, and both of us working together to achieve greater results. Now, Dr. Luan Brinzendine, in his book, The Female Brain, made some analogies and analysis that sometimes people also argue. She said that the female brain has about 11% more neurons than that of the men. And what that means is that we process language faster, we have more emotions stored, and sometimes if we don't take care, these issues crop up when we're trying to communicate. Such that you find in an office, for instance, something happens, a man is likely to approach it the way it is, objectively. But as a woman, if you don't take care, you find yourself being personal about it. And in being personal, you find it difficult not to be emotional about it. And once you're emotional about it, you discover that it's difficult for you to communicate effectively and powerfully, because now you're not addressing the issue objectively any longer. Okay. And so that's where the crisis comes in. The challenge now is, how do you ensure that you're taken seriously and not taking out, a woman matter, forget them. That's where the problem lies. Being able to communicate powerfully and being unequivocal in your statements. It goes a long way to ensure that you're taken seriously. As it's often said, women are not men in skirts. We cannot be men. We are women, as you said. We're feeble, we're soft naturally, but the point is for you to be able to break from your comfort zone and be the best that you can be in your profession, in your career, in your business, because we also find it also in business settings where you find majority of decision takers being men, and probably you're the only woman in their midst. Everybody's on pants and you're the only person on a short skirt, and already that has taken some percentage from your perceived seriousness. So the question now is, how do you communicate that fact that you mean business and you mean what you say? That is where we need to work on as women.
Yeah, the typical woman is the typical motor mouth. You know, can talk and
Don't
talk.
say.
Typical woman.
That's what I'm saying. Women talk more than men oftentimes. So what I mean,
some women,
But there's an explanation. See,
I know I haven't finished my question.
No, there's an explanation.
So you have, so you know the typical cartoon you'll see. I'm sure you've seen that cartoon where the man is trying to understand. He's got this book, 10,000 pages, and he's still trying to read through to understand who the woman is. But I'm sure for communicating for women, tell me whether it's elaborate and complex or is fluid and simple.
I would say it's complex because
like 10,000
the woman
pages.
is an embodiment of so many things. Even when, in my book, for instance, Shiro is not just a woman.
It's a 10,000 page book, right?
No. It's actually just 174 pages. So I try to be as precise as possible. You know, I said something there. In fact, from the title, not just a woman. A woman is not just a woman. There are a lot of things that comes with a woman, which nature has put in, and there's little or nothing we can do or you can do about it. The only thing we can do is to harness it and even make it more powerful and more effective for societal development. A woman is a mother, a sister, an aunt, and so on and so forth. So you find out that nature has put that ability to nurture in women. A woman can take this cup and nurture it to something massive, which a man ordinary may,
that's called
a cup is a cup, and that's it.
The storm in the teacup.
Oh, that's what you see.
He said massive, I said the storm in the teacup.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to say is that a woman has so many abilities, and she can do a lot with the person that she is simply by what nature has given her. It's just like when you talk about an animal like lion, a lion does not become a lion because you took it to school or you took it to a gymnastic or whatever to learn how to pull stunts and catch his prey. No, those are natural. The same with women. There's so many things a woman can do. A woman can multitask. A woman can sit here, is breastfeeding, she's answering the call and making sure her business, her goods is delivered at the right time. She's also sitting here and making sure that her kids get to school, and she's sitting here, she's making sure that her husband eats the best food at the right time.
But if you call you motor mouth, you probably don't want to give it Let's talk about catching them young.
Yeah.
Well, the woman in 2018, the Nigerian woman, is fighting the cultural issues that she's known over time. Women should be this way, women should be that way. But we can't ignore that a young crop of girls who need to be groomed early enough so they don't have to face the battles that we face or we're facing. So what's your advice in catching them young?
Well,
I hope these ones won't be called motor mouths.
No, certainly not. Catching them young, it's all about us, for every mother and every father too, because the mistake we make sometimes in nurturing the girl child is that the men tend to leave it for the mothers or for the women. But again, if you want a balanced girl child, the role of the father is very important, because as it's often said that her father is her first boyfriend, so to speak. And so he nurtures her to, first of all, appreciate herself as a whole human being.
And men are always nicer to their daughters than their wives. You notice that?
But it's good, it's encouraging, because sometimes, I don't know how true it is, but they say that girls tend to marry men who are so much like their fathers.
Yeah.
So it means that the men need to be the greatest role model for their girl child.
I'll go as a dad.
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
So am I right?
Please go ahead, you're very right. Go ahead.
Okay, so how many times have you taken her out on a date?
We always on the date.
Because that's another thing.
It's
When
an unending date.
as a man you take your girl child out, oh, today we're hanging out, she gets to understand that this is natural, this is normal, it's nothing out of the place. I'm not waiting for one who in China,
Knight in shining armor,
or
or demon in
sweep her off her feet.
demon deceptively dressed in white.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. But the bottom line is that she begins to make mental picture. Okay, this is how a gentleman acts, and this is what a gentleman should do. Take care of you, fine, take you out.
Men never call their daughters motor mouth. You know that, right?
Will tell us better, though.
Yeah, it's a football club called Motormouth Football FC in Ghana. I think it's the other question.
Yes, I do. Okay. Still on this, talking about the girl child, it is, like Victoria said, catching them young. And in some cases, some typical families that think women should not be heard but seen will not allow their daughters to be heard and seen. We know that in some parts of the country, women are not even heard. They are somewhere in the background. How is it that these people, perhaps they're watching right now, can come out from that box, maybe speak to their parents, and say, I need to let my voice be heard? How is it that they can do this?
Fight the traditional
without
parents.
fighting, without, going the violent way?
It's not easy, especially when you're coming from the cultural perspective. But the point is that with education, really, we're witnessing lots of changes. But again, if you're referring to this part of the country we're talking about, even with the latest issue, people are not encouraged to take children to school. So that's where we find the challenge, because ordinary education should be able to break the barrier. But the challenge now is that even that education is not coming cheap, and then for some parts of the country, they are not really feeling safe anymore to go to school. But again, it's not a reason why we should give up. We should continue the campaign, and of course, for instance, from the theme of this year, Press for Progress, the fight and the struggle continues. It's all about creating constant awareness from family to schools to groups. Women are forming
a
lot of groups today to say something, to be heard, to also help other women who cannot speak but need to become better in terms of having a better life and being able to communicate effectively to drive change, positive change. Because when you educate a woman, you educate a whole nation. And so for every woman that you are not giving the room to be herself, you are denying the whole society of a light.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much, Bobby-Umeano, communication coach, effective communication for women, breaking barriers, so
Women are
the
not
barriers
for progress.
Exactly, the
It
barriers
begins with you.
Women are not
we
motor
will,
mouth.
we will next week maybe have effective communication for men. Say
Okay.
there be no barriers anymore between men.
Women
right.
are
Changing stereotypes. All right, so that's it. Thank you very
mouth.
much, ma'am, for coming on the show. We will take a quick break. When we come back, the rest of the show will continue.